Hi, Gail here. If you get sick of seeing the same 10 tips for keeping your dog safe during the holidays, you'll find this video a refreshing change. First, it's completely Greyhound-centric, although owners of other breeds will find value here as well. Second, I came up with them myself, drawing on 23 Merry Christmases with my Greyhounds. Plus, I had a lot of fun getting input from my daughter as we remembered Christmases past. Sometimes our dogs made things kind of adventurous. Well, let's get started. First, try making some dog biscuits as a gift. It's really easy to do. You just make a simple dough out of flour, oil, and peanut butter. Then roll, cut, and bake. If you're like me and hate cutting out cookies, even those kinds for people, because it's messy and sticky, you're going to love this. This dough is as easy to handle as Play-Doh. This makes a lot of cookies too, especially if you make them small. Since I don't have a lot of patience cutting cookies, I usually divide the dough into 3 parts and then I freeze 2 of them to cut and bake some other time. These biscuits come out of the oven hard and crunchy, just the way your buddy likes them, and they keep for months. Not that they'll be around for that long. Hey, would you like the recipe? I've linked to it in the description below. While you're down there, hit subscribe so you'll know every time I put something out that's new. Next, don't let them eat the tree, or the poinsettias. Poinsettias are pretty easy to safeguard. Just be careful there aren't any dropped leaves on the floor, because all the parts of the poinsettia plant are very poisonous. The safest place for this plant is in the center of a large, higher surface, like is the centerpiece for your table, so that when the leaves fall, they land on the table and not on the floor where your Greyhound can munch on them. The tree, that's another matter. Those needles go all over the place, and those low branches are ripe for grazing. Plus, unlike the hothouse-bred poinsettia, the tree came from the outdoors and has interesting woodland creature smells. I've had Greyhounds eat the needles and get miserably sick. While you're at it, consider anchoring your tree to the wall. The tree always falls over when you least expect it. Now this is simple to do. You just use a screw and eye and a piece of picture wire. Actually 2 pieces. I have 2 anchors, as you'll see here. This works great and you can't even see it. I installed my anchors next to my blinds so they're not noticeable. I actually leave them up there all year. Keep chocolate out of reach. I don't know about you, but we certainly have a lot of chocolate around at Christmas times. It spills from stockings, it's in gift boxes under the tree. We've even had ornaments that are made from wrapped chocolate. The worst offenders are those little foil-wrapped balls. They tend to roll out onto the floor when you don't notice them, but your Greyhound sure will. According to the AKC, the theobromine and caffeine in chocolate can make your Greyhound sick, very sick if he consumes a lot of it. Watch his fats. You know, I never knew this one until last Christmas when Lily ate too much fat from our Christmas Eve prime rib dinner. We all thought we were being so generous, and Lily was having a great time cleaning everybody's plate until she started throwing up, that is. Every time I'd get one mess cleaned up, she'd throw up again, 4 times in all. Then the poor thing lay on the rug for hours not moving. If I had known then what I learned later while researching my article, What Foods Are Bad for My Greyhound, I would have been on the phone to the animal hospital. It turns out that too much fat can overstimulate your dog's pancreas, giving him an attack of pancreatitis, which can be fatal. Canine Journal notes that pancreatitis comes in a mild type and a severe one, but you know, even the mild form, I can tell you from experience with Lily, is no walk in the park. Plus, one attack of pancreatitis can make your Greyhound prone to future attacks. Don't give him cookie dough or yeast dough. The flour we use for baking can be tainted with E. coli bacteria when it's in its unbaked state. Even the legendary flour company King Arthur Flour cautions that flour is not a ready-to-eat ingredient. Neither are eggs, for that matter. The high incidence of salmonella in raw eggs gives you a second reason not to let your Greyhound eat raw cookie dough. Yeast dough, now that's 4 hazards in one. Even if a Greyhound swallows a small amount, moisture in his tummy and body heat will activate the yeast, causing the dough to expand in his digestive tract to 2 to 3 times its original size. This could cause a blockage or put too much pressure on his vital organs. Even if your Grey escapes that danger, the fermentation of the yeasted dough will produce ethanol gas. Now, not the horrible Greyhound gas, but that which will be released into his bloodstream and can cause alcohol poisoning. As if that isn't bad enough, all that swelling and gas could cause the much-feared tummy bloat, the fatal condition in which a swollen stomach can flip inside your Greyhound's deep chest. By the way, if you want to know more about what foods are bad for your Greyhound, I've linked to that article in the description below for your convenience. Next, ask your guests not to feed him. Given my previous precautions, this one should be obvious. Now, if you only have a small number of guests, or it's people that you know not to feed your dog without asking, you should be okay. But if you're having a party, just ask people not to slip the dog any nibbles, because if he gets sick, it would be awfully hard to trace back the culprit. Put unbreakable ornaments on lower branches of your Christmas tree. Now that we're making sure to keep your Greyhound safe, let's work on keeping your Christmas trimming safe. One sweep of that long wagging tail can take out several ornaments at once. The lower branches of your tree are a great place to display your unbreakable ornaments, as long as they look like something you wouldn't want to chew. Guard your gifts, even the wrapped ones. Once everything's opened, it's pretty easy to sort out things that you want to put out of your pet's reach. Leading to Christmas morning, however, all that pretty gift wrap can be tempting to a Greyhound. Even if none of the gifts are dog biscuits, candy, or Hickory Farm smoked sausage, Greyhounds adore opening gifts and paper shredding in general. You know, Lily's never been a paper shredder, but all that changed just last week. In the middle of a normal day, she snitched some paper I'd set aside for the wood stove. She took it to her bed and tore it to ribbons. In 5 years, she's never done that. One of my neighbors used to have a Samoyed who was never much of a chewer until age 9, when she discovered shoes. It must have been the smell of the leather that was so attractive, because she tracked down a pair of gift-wrapped boxed slippers and settled herself down to a $100 Uggs lunch. This is all just to make the point that even an old dog may teach himself a new trick. I usually trust Lily around our Christmas packages, but I'm going to be more watchful this year. Make sure they don't give you the slip. There are 4 reasons to be extra careful not to let your Greyhound slip out the door at Christmas time. First, it's just more of an exciting time in general. Your Greyhound feels that pent-up excitement as well. He may decide that a romp through the neighborhood is just what the doctor ordered. He may be looking to bust out. Second, you may have all kinds of exciting people coming in and out of your house, between friends, family, delivery men, and repairmen coming in to shore things up before winter hits. Even if your Greyhound's not much of a greeter, he's still going to find the extra door opening interesting and may want to explore. Third, there's always the chance that your guests will not close your door fully. Now, this is one that's easy to not think of. I have a door like this. You think you've closed it, but the latch doesn't quite catch. Then another door in the house opens, and the pressure pulls the unlatched one open, unbeknownst to everybody. The catch on the storm door is not the greatest, so if the dog pushes against the door, it could pop right open. And fourth, it's easy to get distracted with all the goings-on and just not be as watchful as you normally would. Maintain his schedule. Everything I've already mentioned is going to be a lot easier if you just keep your Greyhound on his normal schedule. If you have to, bring in somebody to fill in when you can't be there or are just really busy. It doesn't even have to be any kind of professional dog walker, although that's certainly an option. One advantage for me of walking around so much with Lily is that I know my neighbors. We have standing offers with 3 different neighbors who would help me out stopping by to feed her or take her out if I wanted to enjoy a long day of shopping or a performance of the Nutcracker. All these people have had dogs of their own, and one's even a fellow Greyhound owner, so I know that Lily is always in good hands. So what have I left out? Do you seasoned dog owners have any tips you can share for better living with our hounds this season? If you do, please share them in the comments below. Oh, the dog biscuit recipe. It's the best. Now, I've linked to that too. So don't forget to visit me over at greyhoundhomecare.com so you can grab the recipe. Now, it's not an email sign up or anything like that. You just go to the page and it's right in there with the article. While you're there, you might want to check out my other recent article, Why Do Greyhounds Roach? Merry Christmas from the Greyhound Home Care channel and website.